Cứ thế là ăn. Ngon nhỉ? Ngon.
My name is Jerry Flynn. I'm assistant editor at Hot Table magazine. We're based in Hanoi. We write a food and drinks magazine looking at the human element behind the dishes that make Vietnam so famous internationally.
Obviously, we're covering many pieces of content in Hanoi. We need to start doing things outside of Hanoi as well. Any suggestions?
Hot Table generally cover things happening in Hanoi or down south in Ho Chi Minh City, but I've been sent out on something of an expedition to try and find out a little bit more about the local cultures outside of the big cities in Vietnam.
Across Vietnam, there are many well-beaten paths, from Sapa in the north to Phu Quoc in the south. However, my expedition started in a place I'd never even thought of, the northeastern province of Bắc Kạn.
Out here in Bắc Kạn, life is very different. It is a real roller coaster in terms of highs and lows, the heat, the humidity.
This is a place of tranquility, a place where life happens at a different pace to Hanoi, and hopefully I can find some inspiration here.
We're here at Ba Be Lake. We're a long way from the Hot Table office back in Hanoi. It is more peaceful than you could ever imagine for Vietnam. It's pretty much silent except for another boat. Something over there is on fire, but it's okay. We're just going to enjoy it.
At the heart of Ba Be National Park in Bắc Kạn Province, Ba Be Lake is Vietnam's largest lake and one of the world's 100 largest freshwater lakes. In 2011, UNESCO recognized Ba Be Lake as a Ramsar site, the third wetland of international importance here in Vietnam. Joining me today is Mai Tay Lan from Ba Be Tourism Management Board. He's a Thai local who was born and grew up here in Bắc Kạn. His expertise and knowledge was crucial in helping me to understand the mysterious legend of Ba Be Lake.
Tên gọi hồ Ba Bể thì thường thì được gọi theo tiếng Tày của chúng tôi là Bé Lầm, Bé Lèng và Bé Lù, có nghĩa là ba hồ.
Ba Ho.
Yes.
Three lakes.
Yeah, three lakes.
So, this is lake 1, lake 1.
Two,
Hồ
lake
một.
two. Oh yeah.
Hồ 2.
Ok, Vietnamese hồ 2.
Yeah.
Vườn quốc gia Ba Bể là một nơi cư ngụ của hơn 3.000 dân cư tại đây và thuộc 5 nhóm dân tộc khác nhau như là người Tày này, người Dao, người Nùng, người Mông và người Kinh là chủ yếu. Những người dân sống ở ven hồ này sống chủ yếu vào nghề là đánh cá và làm nông nghiệp.
Within the ethnic communities in Bắc Kạn, there's a wide variation in culture and lifestyle, but it can be seen clearest through their relationship with food.
The lake is home to a wide variety of ethnic minorities living around there and living off the land there as well.
With 7 kilometers in length and more than 1 kilometer at its widest, this is a perfect environment for fishing. Here the local people can be seen fishing or travelling in their dugout canoes named dokma. They stand on their boats, which are made from just one tree trunk with unparalleled skill, and although the boats are extremely narrow, they glide effortlessly through the water.
Hello anh ơi, đây có bắt được nhiều cá không? À đâu mới đi thả lưới nhỉ?
Personally, I love boats. I like being out on the water. There's something calming about it. But, you know, for me, obviously, it's a nice experience. It's something I can do on a holiday or a trip. But, you know, for the people of Ba Be, it's everyday life.
On the hunt for anything sentient in the lake, Chu Van Yu's nets catch everything from small shrimp to fish. Keeping the boat balanced was not something I could master, even with Chu's expert guidance.
How much fish do you catch?
Một ngày trung bình thì được 2-3 cân. Có hôm thời tiết thay đổi được nhiều là tầm khoảng 5-6 cân. Gia đình mình cũng không ăn được nhiều đâu, chỉ tầm 5 số lạng thôi, còn lại là để bán.
Fishing in Ba Be Lake is an art form, but not what most people would consider a relaxing activity out on the water. But meeting the local people, especially with this fisherman who openly invites me to his house in Pak Noi village, is the reason to love Ba Be. For years now, Ba Be Lake has been the source of income for all of the local people. These people understand and recognize its true value. Together, they share the benefits from the lake. Every morning, this wharf is busy with merchants and buyers who carefully classify their quarry based on size. Among hundreds of freshwater fish in the lake, the small white fish are the most loved by locals and tourists. All around me, grilled fish is ready to eat.
The fishermen that we met, the people collecting the fish, collecting the shrimp, the traders who are working at the market, you know, that place needs to be preserved in order for them to go on living. So I think it's definitely important that people take initiative and try to ensure that Ba Be Lake is something that future generations are going to be able to enjoy the same way that I've been able to enjoy it this day.
At Jiu Van Yu's house, I was invited to dinner to taste the spoils of his labour. But first, Yu's wife showed me how to make a traditional Tay dish from small shrimps and fish.
Thực hiện cái món cá chua, cái tép chua này trước tiên mình là phải rửa sạch cái cá với cả tép này để sau đó là để ráo nước. Ráo nước xong mình mới đi ướp gia vị để thực hiện cái món này.
Okay, so it's really quite a simple mix of rice, shrimp and rice wine. Sadly, this won't actually get you drunk though. This is just for the fermentation process. It's a traditional Tay way of preserving food. So back in a time when you didn't have a fridge, you would have to ferment things to make sure it didn't go out of date or go off. But here it is, pretty simple.
Cứ mỗi một cân tôm này mình sẽ trộn với một tầm 5 lạng gạo ấy, nấu thành cơm ấy. Rồi sau mình sẽ cho khoảng 2 ly rượu. Thế là mình trộn đều. Xong thì mình sẽ bỏ vào cái hú để ủ tầm 2 đến 3 hôm là mình có thể bỏ ra ăn được rồi.
With only the simplest of things readily available in their homes, the Tay people have created many traditional dishes. Although living standards have improved, the electricity in Pak Noi village is irregular. As a result, alternative techniques are not only a means of retaining traditional cuisine, but a necessity. Yen showed us how to save ourselves from wasting perfectly good freshwater fish and shrimp by the wonderful and flavoursome, albeit slightly odorous process of fermentation.
Ướp muối này là nó sẽ phải mặn hơn là ướp tép, bởi vì là con cá này nó sẽ dày thịt. Để 30 phút ướp cho nó vào trong cái thịt đấy, nó đều, nó đủ ướp lượng gia vị của nó ấy. Mình sẽ mới bắt đầu mình mới trộn với cả cơm. Vào trong cái thịt đấy, nó đều.
Mixing the fish is just a small part of the preparation, yet the process itself is remarkably simple.
Trứng này mình cũng phải bỏ ra hết, bởi vì trứng là nó hay hỏng nhất ở trong con cá này.
The process for making the fermented fish is pretty much exactly the same as the shrimp. The only difference really is descaling them, gutting them, and using a different kind of sticky rice. This one has been turned red by the com leaf that we saw earlier on.
Thì cái công thức này toàn là ông bà cụ ngày xưa là truyền lại cho con cháu bây giờ thôi, chứ còn bây giờ nó phát triển hơn ấy, toàn để trong tủ đông là nhiều. Nhưng mà cái này là đặc sản của quê nhà ấy, cho nên là người dân ở đây này đến mùa cá ấy, vẫn giữ cái nét văn hóa này, nét truyền thống của ông bà cụ để lại ấy. Nhà nào hầu như nhà nào là cũng có món này.
So if you've got every family in the village making this dish at once, that's going to be quite a pungent smelling village.
Nhưng mà làm được ký, ướp gia vị, ướp với ký là đến lúc rán là nó thơm, sẽ có mùi thơm. Còn nếu mà ai mà làm vội quá ấy, tức là không làm ký con cá ấy, thì là nó sẽ bị hỏng nhanh lắm, nó sẽ có mùi ấy.
The fish are then left in a ceramic bowl, sealed away for 7 to 10 days or so, depending on the weather. Humidity and heat foster fermentation, so on a day like today, the fish will be ready even sooner. Vietnamese summer is the perfect time to make fermented fish and shrimp that will last for somewhere between 2 weeks and 1 month, depending on the ratio of the rations. You can tell that the fish is done when it turns light pink and slightly sour to the smell. It's a simple recipe, just fry the mix and eat it with rice. In Tay families, the owner of the house is often seated in the middle over the table. Then, other family members are seated all around the table. The dinner was a simple serving of fermented shrimp, fermented fish, boiled pork, and pickled eggplants.
Good idea.
Cái này trước khi ăn là mình phải băm ít thịt ba chỉ ấy, xong là rang lên cho thịt ra mỡ, xong là bắt đầu mình đổ tép chua xuống, xong rồi rang khi nào nó vàng là mới ăn được.
Ngu showed me how to eat this dish. We used leaves to wrap the slices of boiled pork and added a dash of fermented shrimp on top.
Ngon không?
It's a really strong, spicy, kind of sour flavour that comes through on that. That's really good. Fantastic. Cảm ơn.
Làm chén rượu nhỉ?
Chúc sức khỏe.
Chúc sức khỏe.
Chúc sức khỏe. It's amazing that everything on this table has come from just outside the house. You know, you've got the incredibly sour, vibrant tasting shrimp. You've got the salty, crunchy, sea tasting anchovy. Well, it's not an anchovy, but it tastes a lot like an anchovy. These fish are fantastic, really good with the herbs and spices here. It's definitely an eye-opening meal.
Sức khỏe.
The people of Ba Be have been able to turn their lifestyle, a lifestyle that was born out of necessity, essentially. They've managed to commodify that and turn it into a delicacy. You know, the fermented shrimp and the fermented fish. People travel from across Vietnam, they reach Ba Be, they expect to be able to find this dish and to sample it. I'm from England, but I'm from a very rural part of England. I grew up in a village where there were more chickens than people. But visiting the Hmong village, it's completely different to everything that I've ever known. I mean, traditionally, the Hmong people have usually moved around. They've usually been quite nomadic. But now, they have settled in this village. There are 21 households in their entire village. It makes for a very, very small, tight-knit community. Xin chào. Đây là gì?
Cái thắt lưng, làm cái thắt lưng mà
Tốt. Đẹp đẹp. Very colourful. This is Nafa village, and we're here to find out about the local delicacies and to find out more about the people who live here and what they do with their very unique Hmong culture. As you can see, they've got very skilled hands when it comes to embroidering, so we're going to find out more about how they make their foods and how they survive here.
Trong thôn thì bà con toàn làm ruộng, làm các thứ để làm ngô, ăn cũng như ăn bình thường ở các thôn khác, như là có món đặc biệt là chỉ là món mèn mén để mình làm lại, ôn lại chuyện trước thời làm mèn mén trước kia.
Looks like a lot of hard work. How much of this do you need to grind to make the meal?
khoảng 5 uống là đủ.
How long will that take?
Lâu. Còn khoảng 1 tiếng nữa.
Very strong arm. When you live at that kind of altitude, there is no Lotte, there is no Tesco, there's no supermarket. You really have to make do with what is to hand. And the Hmong people, they do this incredibly well. Whilst most of Vietnam lives on a diet generally supported by rice, the Hmong people prefer corn. As you saw with the old lady who was using her mortar, the milling stone, to grind that corn, you don't need a gym membership if you live in that village. Her arms, they put mine to shame. I have little pasty white noodle arms by comparison. Is this good? No. No, it's not. I am doing it all wrong. How did you learn to make this?
Làm lâu rồi. Bố mẹ để mình tự nhổ làm ăn cái này mềm miến mãi mãi thế này thôi.
After the corn flour was carefully sifted, Singh mixed it with some water. I guess she knows exactly how much water is needed so that the mixture does not come out too dry or too pasty. She's been an experienced cook for years. I watched every step of her preparation making men men. I watched as she steamed the corn mixture twice in a steamer, which is placed in the centre of a large pan of water. The timing for the first steaming depends on the kind of corn. If it is young corn, then the steam will evaporate on the mouth of the steamer as the water boils. Old corn, however, needs more time.
Gần 1 tiếng đấy. Làm cái này thì mình làm rau chua, cái này chiến thì làm rau chua, chua ăn với cái miến đấy.
What strikes me about eating here is that almost everything that adorns the table has been found, caught, or harvested probably just a few feet from where I sit. With some pumpkin buds and sour bamboo shoots, Singh quickly prepared a sour soup for her family to eat with the men.
Ăn cơm đi. Đi. Hai tiền nó lo.
Cho mọi người một tí nhá.
Chia.
Nè, mọi người tí này.
Come on now.
Các bạn đã ăn miến chưa?
No, this is first time.
Chưa được ăn chưa? Thế thì ăn thử quả miến quả ba ấy.
Cô đi. Đi.
Ngon nào.
I mean, the man men was, as far as traditional dishes go, it's so simple to make. Really, it's not a bad dish to actually live off. It's a good combination of flavor. The ground corn becomes kind of a starchy, almost like a porridge. It's interesting to see how they've managed to turn such basic ingredients into something that's actually quite a refined dish. In Vietnam, you might die, but tradition won't. I think is especially represented within the minority communities. Today we visited the Zhao village, and there you can really see the effort that they're putting into preserving those traditions, their culture and their customs.
Between the hardy Hmong people and the fishing communities of the Tay people in Ba Bay Lake, the Zhao people sit happily as a happy medium in Bung village. Ban Van Lam has been training to be a shaman since he was 17. He walked us through the 3 phases of the ritual that the Zhao community believe will bring them a good harvest.
Rằm tháng 8 ấy thì là bắt đầu lúa sắp chín thì lấy lúa về là lại ăn lúa mới. Thì cái thủ tục ăn lúa mới thì gọi con chó về ăn cùng bữa cơm gạo mới, xong là tha những cái rủi ro bệnh tật ra ngoài, xong là đổi lấy những cái may mắn, sức khỏe, tiền bạc, của cải về cho con cháu.
So what they have is we have bowls of rice, chicken, rice wine. This is offered first to the god and then to the ancestors, and then the family here will take it for themselves. Most of us might think that strange in some way, but for them it's just a part of the way that they live. They're happy with it. They thrive in that environment.
For the Zhao people, their specialty is homemade spongy tofu. Thankfully, only a distant cousin of the slimy gelatin-esque tofu that we see here in Hanoi. But to add some flavor, this tofu is made by a special kind of sour leaf.
Dân tộc Dao này là tôi làm đậu thì mình dùng lá chua lấy từ trong rừng.
So we're looking for leaves. What kind of leaf?
Lá thom lồm.
Drum lom leaf. How much do you need?
Lấy khoảng một ít thôi, nó không cần phải nhiều lắm. Tầm này để mình sẽ có thể làm được đậu, và mình có thể lấy thêm một ít để mình về mình nấu canh cá.
Okay. The tom lom tree is a kind of shrub about 1 meter high. It can be found in the mountainous forests where the soil is good and the plant can thrive. While the trunk is succulent and has many leaves, if you're in the forest and thirsty, you can actually eat the stems and the leaves directly.
Lấy lá chua từ rừng về đun sôi lên, chắt lấy nước pha vào đậu, đậu sẽ ngon hơn. Không như nơi khác thì họ sẽ làm bằng nguyên liệu khác, không phải là dùng cái lá mình lấy trong rừng.
Personally, I've never been an avid fan of tofu. The jellified texture of it just doesn't sit right with me. But watching Vuong at work made me realize that I had to try some.
Đầu dao này là làm từ ngày xưa các ông truyền lại cho. Tôi học cái cách làm đậu này từ mẹ tôi, khổng lồ, mọc quanh năm. Cái mùa này là tốt nhất cho làm món đậu này là mới là ngon.
Apart from making tofu, the tomlom leaves are also used to make sour fish soup. While most people are aware of tamarind, pineapple and tomato for giving their soups a heady, sour flavour, few have probably even heard of the tomlom leaf.
Đối với dân tộc bọn em đây là bọn em có với lá sùm lùm kia là lá chua hợp mùa này nhất. Chua là mùa hè là mình ăn vào nó mát người, xong rồi cũng hợp với phong tục dân tộc của bọn em này.
Theo truyền thống thì gia đình nào mà có điều kiện thì làm cả đậu này, cá nấu với lá chua để ăn cho nó mát.
There are some things that really run common as a thread in Vietnam. There's a level of ingenuity and resourcefulness. They rely solely on what they find around them, and they all thrive in very different environments. You know, for the Hmong village with the Tay or with the Zao, they have, again, different options based on their environment, and yet they still manage to create delicacies, I mean, truly delicious dishes that you can't find elsewhere in Vietnam. You know, these are unique meals.
Doubtless, there will be more exciting times and bizarre dishes in the next episode of Fine Cuisine. Join me, Jerry, from Hot Table Magazine in my food adventure in Bắc Kạn.